Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I was doing a little typing and uh, was then actually this is what's coming up on the thing right now. I was putting up a list of people who will be coming on the show here in the near future and what they're running for. Uh, so pardon me for uh, taking up too much time doing that. So apologize. I was a little distracted. Let me go ahead and say hello to the folks joining us tonight. Ben and Cheryl Garcia, thanks for joining me. William Campbell, thanks for joining us tonight. Cheryl Moulton, thanks for joining us. James Corbett, thanks for joining us. Sherry Thomas, thanks for joining us, Sherry. Long time no see. Mary Boysworth, thank you for joining us. Vuka Russo, thank you for joining us. I want to thank everybody for joining the show tonight. And I want to talk about the scroll there about what we've got scheduled so far. Charlotte Geller, welcome to the show. So right now we have March 29th, and it'll scroll on there too. We have Michelle Bernard scheduled running for the Board of Commission. On April the 12th, we have Jesus Lopez running for Board of Education. We have April 26th, Justin Kinney running for State Court Judge. May 17th, Justin Kinney running for State Court Judge. And May 18th, Clarence Cuthbert running for Superior Court Judge. So that's what we have scheduled. And just so you know, right now, Des Moines Kinney running for State Rep 91 and Donald Ferguson running for Senate 43 will both be scheduling both of those candidates on the show. So we've got those guys coming too. So right now we've got the calendar starting to fill up, and and I'll run this every show on the bottom so you guys can see who's coming and the dates they're coming, and we will adjust it, add and delete as people come on and they go off and new people are added. We will edit the screen so that you have that. So Justin will be speaking at Lake Capri OHAOA tomorrow evening. All are welcome. So that's a good thing. I spoke at the Lake Capri when I ran for the Board of Education also. That was a great venue, and I enjoyed speaking to the fine folks over there at the HOA. And it was a good event and a good crowd. I think I spoke over there twice, and it was a good crowd both times that I actually attended and spoke over there at Lake Capri. So there we go. So I hope you guys are excited about that, about us having these candidates beginning to schedule and come on the show. And, if we run out of Sundays, I will make room and do like a Wednesday or a Saturday show, or, Wednesday or Monday. So we will make room on the schedule and make sure that, candidates that want to come on, we accommodate what we need to. If we don't have enough Sundays, we'll add Mondays and Wednesdays. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that. So I am pleased to begin this interview series, and I encourage you guys to all join and watch and share and like, especially when we start this interview series, because it'll help you, the voter, get to know all the candidates. And again, any candidate running is more than welcome to reach out to the show. District 92. That, you're right. He is running for 92. My bad. So he and I had that conversation yesterday when I talked to him. I get confused with those House districts. So yeah. So Des Moines is running for 92. Thanks for the correction there, Nicole. I appreciate that. But Des Moines. I talked to him yesterday at the Cherry Blossom Festival. He was out handing out material, talking to voters, and having a good time. Looked like he was really connecting with voters yesterday. And he was out there today too. Didn't get to speak to him much today, just a little bit of howdy, but he was there. George Kelichek, thanks for joining us tonight also. So it's good to have you here. But I think when we begin this series and we begin these candidates coming in here and talking, it gets you, the voter, the opportunity to hear these. We have these voters do that. Nicole, when we do the show, we all find out. If Larry Cox supports the candidate, he likes to do that on the. I have echoed the support of some candidates beforehand, but what I think I'm going to do is moving forward, I'm going to wait till they come on the show, and if it's a candidate that I'm endorsing, I will say it on the show that I'm endorsing them. So Nicole, if you look at the bottom of the screen, I've got the dates right now for candidates who have confirmed. And I have a candidate that's ahead of Des Moines looking to confirm a date. As soon as that candidate confirms a date on Tuesday, then I will be sending the available list to Des Moines, and he is going to choose a date after Tuesday. So I have a candidate that reached out first. I'm going to give them first option with the dates. And then after that candidate decides on their date on Tuesday, then Des Moines is next in line to pick a date. So that's how that rolls right now. So we're doing with that. Yeah, so the ticker in the blue has the dates right now. But like I said, Des Moines Kenny and Donald Ferguson, their dates are yet to be, because they're yet to be determined. And we will get those dates, and hopefully I'll have, like I said, I think Des Moines will decide after Tuesday. So next week he'll be on the ticker, and hopefully we'll have Donald on the ticker next week also. And like I said, and other candidates who wish to come on the show and be interviewed, come on the show and be interviewed. And, and I think anybody who has watched me interview candidates before, I do not target, isolate, or pick on candidates. But I do ask tough questions, and I do ask policy questions, and I do, it's probably not an easy interview, but it's not a got you interview either. I mean, if you don't know the material and you don't know the office you're running for, you might not want to come on this show, because I definitely do my research, and I know the issues that are pending for each one of these offices. I know the responsibility that each of these offices hold. I know what issues that are concerned by the voters. So I ask those questions. And when I do the interview, even though it's somebody I say I'm supporting, I don't lift the gas off of them either. I expect them to answer the questions also. And if somebody avoids a question, even though it's somebody I'm supporting, I'll double back down on them and push to get the question answered, because you, the voters, deserve to know what the candidates are wanting to do. And like I said, and we all deserve to know the platform. We all deserve to know if their platform aligns with what we want our elected officials to do. Well, I'll give you some examples. It's like, I wanted the county commission to be expanded to 5. I did not want the courthouse project to proceed as it has proceeded. There are several other things that I wanted the Rockdale County Water and Sewer Authority members to be reappointed, and that be an active committee. There are several things that I had anticipated that possibly we could see some movement on, and I'm personally disappointed in the county commission in the lack of movement in direction I would have liked to have seen. But that's me, right? I mean, that's my personal perspective. I don't. I hope to see action, movement, and change in those directions, and I did not see that. Right. Uh, but and also, uh, that's the what it is. And I mean, and I ran on a specific platform as uh, for the Board of Education. I ran on change at the top, that I believe we needed a new direction with the superintendent, and and that's what we did. Right, we got that change. I ran on that. I wanted to see if we could tighten the budget. I think you'll see this year that that budget's going to be tighter. It's going to be less than it was last year. I ran on a platform of reducing salary at the central office. Last year, we reduced salary by $4.5 million. I think you're going to be happy. We'll be reducing that by another million this year. So over the first two budget cycles that I will have been on the board, you'll see $5.5 million in reduction at the central office. We are looking at the head count of students versus teachers and aligning that where it needs to be. So, I mean, you're going to see these kind of things. And then I'm hoping that we're going to see improved test score numbers next year with some of the things that the district has initiated this year, which, we talked about when I ran, is about, reading and math scores were low and they needed to rise. I didn't realize this when I ran, that the attendance for the Rockdale County Public School System last 6 years was as bad as it was. So it was, we were 28-30% absentee rate. The state average is like 15%. I think that we're going to make great strides this year in that in improving that attendance. And this is the thing about it: if you're not in the classroom, you're not going to score well on tests. That's just correct, right? If you're not in the classroom, you're not going to score well on tests. Yes, Charlotte, and that's one of the reasons I mentioned the water authority thing. But that's not the Rockdale County Board of Commission taking that action. That is our state legislators attempting to take that action through amending the Rockdale County Water and Sewer Act of 1995. It is not our Board of Commission doing the right thing and enforcing the law that it is written and the way the charter was written for the Rockdale County Water and Sewer Authority. It is our state legislators introducing local legislation to amend who is going to appoint those members because the board doesn't feel that they have to. And I don't agree with that, right? So it's one of the things I have issue with. So as a voter, if you have issues with things, then you know what you do? Then Larry Cox doesn't support those folks that are in office that don't take action. That's just me, guys, right? And you don't have to follow my my heed, right? You can do what you want to do because you're all individual voters. I just come on here and I talk about issues. I talk about things that that bother me as a voter. I talk about things that as a constituent in this county that I don't like. I come on here also as an elected official who can't speak for the whole board. Like, again, I am just one board member, and anything I say about the Board of Education, I am not speaking that as, that's the policy of the board. That's my opinion. That's the way I see it, because I can't render a policy on my own. It takes a majority of the Board of Education to do a policy. So, just want you guys to know, I will inform you on what's going on, with the education system in Rockdale County, because I swore to you guys that if I was elected, that I would keep you informed and not run from questions, and then I don't. But I do give the disclaimer that what I'm about to tell you is not the official opinion of the board or the district, but it's Larry Cox's perspective, right? So I want to clarify that. And I do want you guys to know that, I have always been critical of government, and even though I'm part of an elected body, I am also critical of the very body that I'm a member of, and I get to be, because I am also a constituent and a voter and a citizen and a taxpayer. So I get to be critical of those things. Corliss Turner, I want to put your comment up there, and then that's why I'm not pleased. Right? They could dissolve it or adhere to the '95 Legislative Act. You just can't ignore it, and I agree with Corliss on that. Right? You don't get to write your own interpretation of the law. The law says what the law says, but you decide to ignore it because there's no enforcement mechanism on that, and they get to interpret what they think the law means. And it was a few years ago when there was a different administration, and we brought this up. It was like, well, we might not be adhering to the law, but probably somebody's going to have to sue us to make us. And that was a comment that was made, right? That was a comment that was made. We might not be adhering. Nicole, yes, I reside in Rockdale County. I'm an elected official in Rockdale County also. I am a member of the Rockdale County Board of Education. So, Nicole, do you live in Rockdale County? Just so you know. So, yeah, I do live in Rockdale County, and I am an elected official in Rockdale County. And I've done this show talking about Rockdale County issues since 2018. So I have been on here for a very long time discussing these issues and informing the public of what's going on, and specifically what's not going on, what our government isn't doing for us, because that's the thing we want to know. What are they not doing for us, right? And Angela Moore on here, LOL. There you go, Angela. Thank you, Representative Moore, for coming on here. So Angela Moore, just so you know, I'm lining up the candidates. You let me know when you want to come on the show, because I'll send you some, after I get the one candidate to commit on Tuesday to them, I'll send you, well, thanks for coming to the show. And maybe, somebody where you live will start a show like this too. But Angela, I'll send you a text with open dates. And like I said, and I'm also going to add Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'll send you a text on what Sundays are open. And then I'll tell you what Monday or what I only have one Wednesday that's booked right now, and that's May the 18th. So any Monday or Wednesday that you would like between now and election, you can do. And excuse me. And I will send you what Sundays are available. So I definitely do want Representative Moore on the show. She was on the show last election cycle when she ran for re-election. She'll do a short wrap up after session's over, and I do appreciate that. And I'll get with you, and we'll make sure that you're scheduled. And just so that y'all all do know, Miss Moore happens to be my representative, and I have voted for her several times. Just so we're all clear on that matter, that Angela Moore represents my district, and I have voted for her every time I've been able to vote for her. So just so we're aware, I want that to be clear and transparent about my state rep. So there we go. But yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. And like I said, I really think that you, the voters, are going to really enjoy this lineup of candidates as they come on the show, and we get to talk with them. So Clayton, I am going to put that up there, right? So that is a big deal. So the upcoming election for one of our only three BOC members is a big deal. If only it was one of five positions, and Clayton, I agree with you with that, right? So we'll see what happens with all that coming around too. And I'm not going to say I'm not. I am a proponent of expanding the Board of Commission to five instead of three. It would make our Board of Commissioners being able to talk to each other. Like on the Board of Education, we have seven. We're able to have conversations with our board mates, and I think if we have those board mates, then I don't see why these commissioners need an assistant. They don't need an assistant. That's waste of taxpayer dollars. I am just telling you, a part-time commissioner does not need a personal assistant. And if I was a board member, I would not have a personal assistant. And if I was a board member, I would present a resolution that the board would not have, members would not have personal assistants. That's just my opinion too. And then Mary want to put up something here. I think we'll put that up there. So let's see. Let me put it up here. So Clarence Cuthbert will be at Lake Capri next Monday evening, 3:30. Okay, that's we put that up there, so that's a good thing to know. Okay, so let me ask you guys, what topic of interest has you what are you interested in talking about tonight? So just so you guys know, I did go to the Cherry Blossom Festival the last 2 days. I went yesterday and I went today, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think I've missed one the last 10 years at least. This has been the best weather that we've had for one in 10 years, I know. And the crowd was phenomenal. It was just a phenomenal crowd yesterday, and it was a phenomenal crowd today until it started winding down around 4 o'clock. But yesterday, I'm just telling you, it was packed. It was the biggest crowd that I remember seeing in a very, very long time. So just so you know, it was a very, very robust Cherry Blossom Festival, and that's what that's what it looks like. Kelly, there are no legislation for taxes for seniors, but I did talk about House Bill 1116 and Senate Bill 382, and those two pieces. And when we did 581 last year, that also helped seniors and anyone with a homestead. That reduced the amount that your appraisal can be increased to the rate of inflation. So your property value cannot raise this year more than 2.7%. But I understand that appraised values are flat. So I don't know if there are going to be any increase in property values this year. And we'll have to look and see what happens with that, because I understand that 7 out of 10 properties that have sold in Rockdale County this year have sold under fair market value. So if that is accurate, then I do not believe we should have an increase in property values this year. So that should be significant savings for homeowners at that point. And then House Bill 1116 and Senate Bill 382 do several things. So starting next year, if these bills pass, right now you pay 40% on the assessed value of your home for property taxes. Starting next year, each year until it would go down to 10%, that 40% would drop to 35%. The year after that, it would drop to 30% of the value you're taxed on. The year after that, it would drop to 25%. So that is significant savings that will be coming down the pike for homestead property owners, which include senior citizens. So seniors who would get their senior exemption, then start getting the 5% decrease, and you have the 581 legislation. You can look at over the next few years beginning to see significant tax relief for those things. Now, that is going to make it very difficult for local municipalities, school boards, and cities to county, cities, and school boards to do budgets, because also what that legislation does is 1116 and 382, it limits the amount of increase that can be done each year too. So let's just say the tax value, you will only be able to raise taxes 3% or the rate of inflation, and that's whichever is greater. And then also with that, any entity, if their budget is going to raise over 3%, it has to go on the ballot. So let's just say the Rockdale County Board of Education, or for that say the city of Conyers, or the county of Rockdale, introduce a fiscal budget that has a more than a 3% increase, they can't just pass it and fund it. If it's over 3%, they have to present it to you, the taxpayers, to approve that 3%, over that 3% increase in the budget. And if you deny that, they have to go back to the drawing board and submit a new budget, either under 3%, or they have to they have to come back with a budget and do that. What doesn't affect? Well, Bill, if you can only raise it 3%, it limits the millage. It limits the amount you can take the millage rate to. So if I can only raise taxes 3%, it impacts where I can go with the millage rate, because I can't raise the mill to collect more than 3%, right? And I can't introduce a budget with 4% and ask to raise the millage rate to collect more than 4 unless you agree with it at the ballot box. That's the way this new legislation works. It actually puts a limit on the amount that local government and how much they can spend. They will only be able to increase their budgets by 3% without asking your permission. That legislation that really it really makes local government tighten their pencil, tighten their belt, and think about what is a priority that needs funded. And the willy-nilly programs, you will see, start going to the wayside, because they will only be able to fund essentials when it comes to that. So I think you're going to see big changes occur with local government and the way they do budgets and the way they fund budgets as we start moving forward when HB 1116 and Senate Bill 382 pass. And I do look for both of them to pass this session, and those are game changers. Those will impact everybody. So just to let you know, what 382 does, just like Rockdale County has 581 across the board, when 382 passes, it goes back and makes everybody who opted out of 581, they all will be participating in 581. So 581 will become the law of the land in the state of Georgia. Everybody who thought they opted out, they're not opted out anymore. They're all opted in. They will all be opted in when Senate Bill 382 passes. I've not heard anything, Stacy, about that Buc-ee's thing, and I think maybe some of you guys could reach out to the county and see if they're able to say anything yet. I was originally told by mid-March we would hear something, and it's there right now, and we've not heard anything yet. So hopefully here in the next week or so we'll hear something. But I don't think it's out of the question or inappropriate for folks to reach out and ask what's going on with that development of that property, because I think they need to know, did we go with a Buc-ee's, or did we go with a convention center and a hotel? So from my understanding, that was the two options, a Buc-ee's development or a convention center and a hotel. So I mean, I think, as taxpayers, we have the right to know what happened to land we purchased, because we did purchase that land. That land belongs to the county, which means it belongs to each and every one of us. If it belongs to the county, it belongs to me. It belongs to you. So we deserve to know what our elected officials are doing with our land. And at the point blank, go to the next BOC meeting and ask. We'll probably get told about that non-disclosure agreement that they've signed with everybody, and they can't tell us, which I just do not like. Government signing NDAs about property that I own. If I didn't own it, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but I do own it. As a taxpayer of Rockdale County, I own a portion of that percent is mine, because my tax dollars paid for that property. Might not want to hear that or like that if you're an elected official, but that's accurate. My tax dollars paid for that. So I do have a right to know, and you have a right to know as a taxpayer what your taxpayer dollars are being spent on. And if the county is selling something that you own, you have the right as a taxpayer to know what they did with your property. And that's the way the cookie crumbles with that. That's the way I see it, the way I look at it from my perspective. Stacy's work, but she'll send an email. Thanks, Stacy, for doing that. And I think we got a couple people on here that will most likely be sending emails and asking that question. And I do appreciate this audience and their due diligence with asking questions and finding out what's going on, because we all deserve to know what's going on with our tax dollars. So that's the way I see it. So any other questions or any other issues you guys would like to discuss this evening about that, or anything else? Because as the show is titled, Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox. So speak your mind. It's a free speech zone. This show is definitely a free speech zone, and you are more than welcome to speak your mind and your opinion on this show. So I was excited about, like I said, the Cherry Blossom Festival with all that. We do have the Spring Taste of Conyers coming up, and I think that's May the 2nd, and I do attend on going over there, and I may have an organization that I may have a booth over there at, and I'll talk to you guys about that later if I decide to do that. But I think I may have a booth there. And then I want to talk about something on this, the Kiwanis Club. So the Kiwanis Club I belong to, and we're getting ready to have a golf tournament. And that golf tournament is going to be on June the 8th. And it's going to be at Ashton Hills over in Covington. And what I'd like to do is, if you have a business, or if you're a golfer, or if you want to put a team together, why don't you reach out to me? Because we have, $600 for a team. We have, gold sponsorships where you have a couple of teams on name on a banner and a tent. You can actually, if you have a business and you want to rent a tent, and you want to be a tent sponsor, you bring your own tent and you set up on one of the holes and you show off your stuff. we're planning on having 30 teams for this golf tournament, which will be 120 players. So you'll get a lot of players come through. These are a lot of business people, a lot of influential people in the community. So if you think about and you would like to have uh, a whole sponsorship or a tent sponsorship, or you would like to sponsor a team, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll give you more information about it. But this goes to fund our Read to Lead program. And every December, every child in the Rockdale County school system, kindergarten through third grade, receive a book from the Kiwanis Club. We personally visit each classroom and we deliver those books. And we're attempting this year to raise additional money, and that's why we've expanded this golf tournament this year. And we want to expand that from K to 3 to K through 5. We want to now include 4th and 5th graders, and that means us raising some additional funds to buy those additional books. So what we would love to do is have that additional support from our community so that the Kiwanis Club can purchase those additional books and that we can expand that Read to Lead program from K to 3 to K to 5. We really want to include those 4th and 5th graders in getting those books this year, and that's an objective of ours. So what we want to do is we want to increase the number of players and how we do the tournament to expand the amount of money we raise. That's one of our big fundraisers. And then also this year, Dr. Anissa Marbury, who programs in the Rockdale County area, and she actually has had a graduation program that she has been able to get us at least one grant, and is working on another grant to increase the amount of money we have to be able to expand reading program for our 4th and 5th graders. And I think with her help and with expanding this golf tournament, we will be able to expand that program from the K to 3 to K to 5. And like I said, if you guys out there know of any businesses or individuals who would like to be a tent sponsor, a whole sponsor a team, or any golfer who wants to play, reach out to me, and I will be glad to get you signed up to do one of those things. So that's what I wanted to talk about that briefly and promote that. And then, while I was out at the horse park this weekend, the Rotary Club is going to do something interesting. They're going to have a rodeo. And I think if I saw that correct, I think that was from June 12th and 4th through the 14th. They're going to have a rodeo park. So that'll be interesting. And then I told them if they would get me a flyer, we'll share that on the show and we'll share that information. But I just wanted to tentatively mention that club is going to have a rodeo. And that's going to be an interesting thing. So, but, and if you guys have belonged to organizations that are doing something, you'd like me to talk about your organization and what your organization is doing, reach out to me. I'll be glad to do it. And I'll tell you something else. If you would like to see Des Moines Kenny, he was out there plugging for yesterday he was campaigning. Today he was out there plugging for the Rotary Club. So see, and Miss Kenny's got a flyer. So if you guys get me that flyer, Des Moines, I'll send you an email to send that to, the show's email. So when I text you on Tuesday, I'll text you the email for the show too. And then that way, when you send, you can send me back when you want to come on, and we'll do that. So I do want to promote that. Like I said, in any organization that is wanting to promote things and do good things for our community, we definitely want to use this show as an avenue to get those things out there because we really do want uh, uh, the citizens of Rockdale County to be aware of everything that's happening in this community and the good work that our civic organizations are doing on behalf of this community and the things that they're doing to enhance this community. So that's just something we need to do. We all need to work together to make Rockdale County a better place. And I appreciate everything that everybody does, right? So that's what we got going on. The rodeo is going to be at the horse park. It is going to be at the horse park is where the rodeo is going to be, June 12th through 14th, and that's what it's going to be. So and they do have several rodeos there during the year, but it'll be great to. Yeah, they were out there working. I'm just going to tell you, his team was out there working hard, and like I said, and that's what you got to do in these campaigns. You got to get out there and pound the pavements and meet the people and talk to the people. And I talk about this from experience because I've done what I say you need to do. I've actually done those things. So good showing out there, Des Moines. Good showing and good hard work. Yeah, guys, that's what I believe I've got talked about this evening, and I think I've ran my mouth long enough, and I appreciate all the input that you guys put into the show tonight, and I was glad tonight, and I was glad that we've got people coming on the show. And like I said, as people come on the show, we're going to talk about if we support those people, if we think those people need to be the people that represent our county. And I can't wait to tell you guys, as these people come on, yes, this is the person I support. Clayton Orwig, thank you for that, Clayton. I appreciate you too, Clayton, as I do all the folks that come and listen to this show, and I appreciate you all caring about this community the way you do. So thank you, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys I can't wait to be here next week, because next week we will have Michelle Bernard, our first candidate interview. So I will be scheduling that and sending Miss Bernard an email, her campaign team an email. When we get off, she's going to be getting an email this evening with a link and directions about coming on the show. So the work's never done. We're going to do these things. We're going to make sure you are informed, and any candidate that wants to come on and talk about their platform and answer hard questions, they're more than welcome to come on this show. We're not going to do a gotcha, a hit piece. It's just going to be an open, honest conversation about Rockdale County, the needs of Rockdale County, and what you as an elected official intend to bring to the table and help of this county. So thank you. Good night. And I can't wait to see each and every one of you next Sunday, Facebook and YouTube. Speak Your Mind with Larry Cox.